Click. Hey guys, Elme here. I just had to do this quick video because I just got out of a 4DX screening for the Star Wars Force Awakens. It's changed a lot of my perspective of how things go. I've also gleaned some new information from Star Wars Before the Awakening, which has what the characters were going through prior to the events of the movie. So just to pick and choose, Rey's piloting skills comes from her learning from a flight simulator program that was left intact in the walker that she's squatting in the movie. Her mechanic skills obviously come from her being a scavenger and cleaning parts and selling parts for portions for to Unkar plot. So that explains that. She's not necessarily an ace pilot like Poe Dameron or Anakin or even Luke. Han Solo doesn't recognize her at all, and a lot of people will say that Rey is Luke's daughter because Maz Kanata says, I've lived long enough to see the same eyes in different people, but she doesn't say that to Rey. She says that to Finn. She's on the table and she says, I've lived long enough to see the same eyes in different people, and you have the eyes of someone who wants to run away. Now, immediately after that, she looks at Han and she says, "Who's the girl?" Maz Kanata doesn't know her. Also, when Rey is being called or drawn to the basement, to the lightsaber, the screams she hears is probably from her at the temple massacre. She's kind of like hiding and she's screaming, no, don't do this, or something. She's being traumatized. The chest that has the lightsaber is the same chest that Obi-Wan Kenobi kept it in, which is strange. Anyway, when Maz confronts Rey after touching the lightsaber, she says that lightsaber was Luke's and his father before him, and now it calls to you. She doesn't know anything. She doesn't say, and now it calls to you because you're a Skywalker. No, she's like, it's calling to you. Why? So there's that. Another thing about that conversation is that she says, whoever you're waiting for on Jakku is never coming back. That belonging you seek is ahead of you, not behind you. And what I think she means by that is that her family, the one that she thinks is coming back, is never coming back because they're already dead. You know, especially if it was Obi-Wan's children that gave birth to you. Anyway, so now she's saying her destiny, the belonging she seeks to be a Jedi, lies ahead of her, not behind her. So the family she seeks, they're no longer coming back, and now the belonging she seeks now is ahead of her, and that destiny is going to lead her to Luke Skywalker. Another thing that jumped out at me is that Kylo Ren doesn't recognize Rey. You know, he says the Force is strong with her, but you know, she's untrained. Highly unlikely. Rey has been trained. And the reason I think she was at the Temple Massacre is because she was training there to begin with. For someone who thinks that the Force and Luke Skywalker is a myth, they don't just pick up the Jedi mind trick out of nowhere and be like, hey, this is something that I could do. So I think that the trilogy is about Kylo's redemption. I think that he is the Skywalker that the saga is about. Everybody will tell you, everybody will argue that the movies have always been about Skywalker, so Rey has to be a Skywalker. No, I think he is a Skywalker that the saga is about. When he was talking to Han Solo, he was talking about, you know, the pull of the light and the struggle, all of this pain. He needs help. He needs help. He doesn't want to feel it anymore. And Han knows what he's talking about. Han knows, listen, I'll help you. I'll do anything. And so Han dies for that reason, for Kylo to further his agenda. I don't know what his agenda is, but it's definitely on the side of, you know, getting close to Snoke and seeing where things go from there. But another thing, Snoke is Darth Plagueis. Darth Plagueis is a Mun, so he has an elongated face, and he doesn't look like that. But the scars on Snoke's face kind of look like reconstructive surgery scars, right? So he wants to change his appearance. He wants to keep his identity hidden from everybody. He's going to reconstruct his face and looks like a human. Leia does not recognize Rey. Everybody thinks that Leia looked at Rey as if she was family and she knew her as a niece or even just like as a daughter. No, the exchange the expressions that they both exchanged after the battle at Starkiller was Rey telling Leia Han didn't make it. And so they start to hug because obviously Rey idolized Han as the smuggler, and Leia is Han's ex-wife. Finally, Luke does not recognize Rey. Now I know the first time I saw this movie, the look that he gave her stuck with me. It was kind of like, it was up there, and it was like, maybe he knows her, maybe he's her father. But upon this last viewing, this most recent viewing, I see that when he removes the hood and looks at her for the first time, it's definitely of bewilderment, maybe a "who are you" moment, and then she takes out the lightsaber, and that's when his face turns to recognition, because, hey, look, that's my father's lightsaber. Why do you have it? And more importantly, where did you get it? Because I lost it at Bespin. So it's not her that he's looking at in that way. He takes off he's like this. He's like, and then she takes out the lightsaber, and he's like, and then, goes into the more deeper. I'm not an actor. So anyway, also Luke was standing on someone's grave. Whose grave was that? I don't know, but my theory is that it's Obi-Wan's grave. And it's going to continue from there in episode 8 into 9. Obi-Wan was struck down and he disappeared. His body was never recovered. So what would they do? They would just give him a gravestone, obviously, maybe a memorial site, just a monument, So I think a lot of this saga is revolving around Kylo Ren's redemption and the reunion of Skywalkers and Kenobi, because Kenobi is a huge deal with this whole, from the prequels to the original trilogy. Kenobi has been the supporter, the backbone, the co-star of the Star Wars saga from the prequels to the original trilogy. And now, if it's going to be about Kylo Ren's redemption, could you imagine the type of tale they could unravel if Rey was a Kenobi and it was Rey and Kylo in the end against Darth Plagueis to bring balance to the Force? That would be epic. It's not just another bunch of Skywalkers. Kylo, Skywalker, Rey, Skywalker. It's just madness. There's too many Skywalkers. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Check out this book. It's a great read. You could pick it up anywhere. It's $12. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Leave it in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And as always, that is why you fail.